France's entire identity was literally forged in one of the most brutal wars in European history, and most people have no idea how close they came to not existing as a nation at all. The 100 Years' War wasn't just some medieval conflict. This was England trying to completely erase France from the map between 1337 and 1453. For over a century, French villages were burned, cities were sieged, and the English were systematically conquering French territory piece by piece. By the early 1400s, France was basically done for. The English controlled most of northern France, including Paris. Then something incredible happened. 1412, in a small village called Domremy in northeastern France. Here a peasant girl was born who would shake the foundations of an empire. Her name: Joan of Arc. This random farm girl shows up claiming God spoke to her in visions telling her to drive out the English and crown the rightful king. From a young age, Joan claimed to hear voices from saints, St. Michael, St. Catherine and St. Margaret, telling her she was chosen by God to save France. At just 13 years old, she believed her destiny was to protect her homeland from English domination during the 100 Years' War. By 1429, France was in crisis. The English had captured large territories, and the French heir, the Dauphin Charles, seemed powerless to reclaim his kingdom. Joan, only 17, convinced local leaders and Charles himself to let her lead an army. Dressed in men's armor and carrying her banner, she marched into battle. Her first major triumph came at the Siege of Orleans, April 29, May 8, 1429. The French forces, inspired by her courage, lifted the siege in just 9 days. Joan didn't stop there. She led troops in several campaigns and escorted Charles to Reims on July 17, 1429, where he was crowned King Charles VII. Against all odds, a simple farm girl had helped restore the French monarchy, but her victory was short-lived. In 1430, Joan was captured by the Burgundians, allies of the English, and sold to them. She was put on trial in Rouen, accused of heresy and witchcraft, largely for claiming to hear God's voices and for wearing men's clothing. On May 30, 1431, at just 19 years old, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake. Eyewitnesses say she cried out the name of Jesus as the flames consumed her. Then by 1453, when the English were finally kicked out, her story didn't end there. In 1456, the church re-examined her trial and declared her innocent. Centuries later, in 1920, Joan of Arc was canonized as a saint of the Catholic